It was a cold, gray afternoon on February 11, 2023, when police were called to Linear Park in Culcheth, a quiet village near Warrington, Cheshire. There, among the trees and the damp winter ground, lay the body of 16-year-old Brianna Ghey. She had been stabbed multiple times in a frenzied and senseless attack. Paramedics fought to save her, but it was too late. Within hours, the news would shake the country not only for the brutality of the act but for the story behind the victim. Brianna was bright, confident, and full of life. Known online for her TikTok videos, she shared her thoughts, makeup tips, and her journey as a transgender teenager. To her followers, she was funny, caring, and bold, someone who wasn't afraid to be herself in a world that could be cruel. But behind her laughter and optimism, she faced challenges that many transgender teens endure: rejection, misunderstanding, and the constant pressure to fit in. That day, Brianna thought she was meeting a friend. She walked into Linear Park unaware that she was stepping into a trap. What she didn't know was that two teenagers, a boy and a girl, both just 15 years old, had been plotting her murder for weeks. They weren't strangers. Brianna knew them, trusted them. But their friendship hid a chilling secret. Together, the pair had developed a dark fascination with violence and death. Police arrested both suspects within 24 hours of finding Brianna's body. At first, the community couldn't believe it: two children accused of such a horrific act.
Obviously, you are under caution, so anything you say is getting recorded. Okay.
What if me being suspect is because I was the last person seen her, or how come I'm a suspect?
Pardon?
How come I'm a suspect?
How come you're a suspect?
Because I'm the last person seen her, is it?
I don't know. All the information I've received is you are a suspect, okay, for the murder.
Yeah. You Eddie?
Yeah.
Eddie, you're locked up suspicion of murder, alright? You didn't have to say anything, but you may harm you eventually don't mention when questioned. So you later line in court, and if you do say evidence, do you understand?
Yeah.
Unlock these.
I can't explain it.
No, listen.
Right, listen.
But when detectives began examining their phones, the truth was even worse than anyone imagined. Hundreds of messages revealed how they had planned the killing in detail. They discussed weapons, locations, and even how they would clean up afterward. Brianna's name appeared on a list of potential victims, a list they had written together as part of a twisted game. The investigation soon revealed that this was not a random act. It was deliberate, calculated, and executed with chilling precision. On the day of the attack, the girl had lured Brianna to the park under false pretenses, pretending they were meeting up to hang out. When Brianna arrived, the boy joined them, and within minutes, the pair ambushed her. The attack was quick, brutal, and without mercy. Then, they left her body in the park and walked away as if nothing had happened. In the following days, Warrington fell silent. Vigils were held across the UK, in Manchester, London, Bristol, and Liverpool. People carried candles and rainbow flags, chanting Brianna's name. Her death resonated deeply with the LGBTQ+ community, who saw in her story not only tragedy, but a reflection of the ongoing fight for acceptance.
She was funny, witty, and fearless. We miss Brianna so much, and our house feels empty without her laughter. To know how scared my usually fearless child must have been when she was alone in that park with someone that she called her friend will haunt me forever. Prior to the trial, I had moments where I felt sorry for the defendants because they had ruined their own lives as well as ours. But now, knowing the true nature and seeing neither display an ounce of remorse for what they have done to Brianna, I have lost all sympathy that I may have previously had for them. And I am glad that they will spend many years in prison and away from society.
When the case went to trial later that year at Manchester Crown Court, the details shocked even the most experienced investigators. The prosecution revealed that both teenagers had become obsessed with the idea of killing someone. They shared violent fantasies, drew up murder plans, and encouraged each other to act on their darkest thoughts. The girl, described by prosecutors as manipulative and calculating, appeared to take the lead. The boy, quiet and impressionable, followed her. But together, they fed off each other's cruelty. In court, the jury heard about messages sent just hours before Brianna's death. The girl had texted, "Are you ready?" The boy replied, "I'm ready when you are." Those words, simple but chilling, marked the moment their fantasy became reality. Forensic evidence tied both to the scene. Brianna's blood was found on their clothing. Their digital messages, videos, and search history painted a disturbing picture of two teenagers fascinated by violence, murder, and control. Despite overwhelming evidence, both tried to blame each other, claiming they were manipulated. But the jury saw through their stories. The trial lasted several weeks, during which Brianna's family sat quietly, listening to every painful detail. Her mother, Esther, described her daughter as fearless and funny, someone who brought light wherever she went. She spoke of Brianna's courage in living openly as herself, something that made her immensely proud. "She was strong," Esther said. "She didn't deserve this." On December 20th, 2023, both teenagers were found guilty of murder. The courtroom fell silent as the verdict was read. In January 2024, the judge handed down life sentences. The girl was ordered to serve a minimum of 22 years, and the boy, 20 years. The judge called their crime utterly senseless and deeply cruel, describing how they had betrayed Brianna's trust and taken her life for no reason other than their own dark amusement.
Pure horror on her face and hear her scream in pain. You suggested you wanted to keep some body parts, like a piece of flesh and an eyeball. 2 days before the murder, you said you were excited. Afterwards, you sent messages to people, drawing attention to the murder. You told Dr. Church you were excited during the murder and that you found it satisfying. Brianna's injuries show that she was killed with exceptional brutality, and the knife was used to inflict far more damage than needed to cause death. You, Eddie, did not show the same interest in killing as Scarlett did, or at least I cannot be sure you did. In some earlier messages, you tried to encourage Scarlett to think about other things, but as Scarlett's fantasies developed into real plans, you gave support and encouragement to her.
For Brianna's family, there was no relief, only the dull ache of loss. "No sentence will ever bring her back," her mother said tearfully outside the court. "But I hope people remember her for who she was, not what was done to her." The aftermath of the case forced the nation to confront difficult questions. How could two children commit such a calculated act of evil? Were there warning signs that adults had missed? What role did the internet play in shaping their violent fantasies? And was Brianna targeted because of her transgender identity? Although the court ruled that her murder was not primarily motivated by transphobia, many disagreed. To them, Brianna's death symbolized the hostility transgender people often face, the way society can isolate and dehumanize those who are different. Across the UK, her name became a rallying cry for acceptance and protection of trans youth. Today, the spot in Linear Park where she lost her life has become a place of remembrance. Flowers, photos, and handwritten notes cover the ground. Some visitors kneel in silence, others whisper her name. The murder of Brianna Ghey is more than just a crime story. It's a tragedy that highlights the fragility of innocence, the dangers of hate, and the need for understanding in a divided world. It shows how quickly ordinary lives can be shattered, how trust can be betrayed, and how darkness can grow unnoticed in the minds of the young. Brianna's name now lives on, not as a victim, but as a symbol of courage and authenticity. Her story has inspired discussions in schools, in parliament, and across the media about safety, tolerance, and the struggles faced by transgender youth. And that's how the world should remember her too, not for the cruelty that ended her life, but for the light she brought into it.